So what do you think? Should I eat the tart or should I eat the plastic box? That's not as silly a question as it might sound, because you know what? I've already eaten the box, and so have you. Humans ingest plastic all the time. And if that sounds gross, we should talk about how that happened and what we can do about it. You probably already know that all kinds of animals get into trouble with plastic debris. For example, when you walk into the Museum of the Earth in Ithaca, New York, the first thing you see is an amazing whale skeleton. Her name is Right Whale 2030. How do we know? Because when she was alive, she was entangled in nylon fishing gear. Conservation workers tried to save her, but they couldn't.
On May 10th of 1999, we got a report from a National Marine Fisheries Service aerial survey of an entangled right whale. Once we got a look up close, we realized that indeed what we had feared was true, and that is that she had body wraps with rope and gill net.
When she washed up dead in New Jersey, museum workers traveled to the beach to retrieve her skeleton and to make sure that we could learn something from the life and death of this beautiful member of a critically endangered species. The nylon fishing gear that killed Right Whale 2030 is one of many different kinds of plastic. Plastics are polymers, long chains of molecules with carbon backbones, and most are derived from carbon-based fossil fuels. Plastic is lightweight, flexible, and strong, making it incredibly useful in a wide range of applications. In 2020, 400 million tons of plastic were produced globally, which are important in 7 principal sectors. In the case of Right Whale 2030, commercial fishing gear is considered an industrial use. A nylon fishing line can drift in the ocean for years, threatening to entangle marine species. But even when it begins to degrade, it doesn't go anywhere. It just breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. It becomes microplastic particles. As plastic debris gets smaller, there's an increased risk of ingestion by other living things. Animals all over the world have been found with plastic in their bodies. Some, like fish and the animals that feed on them, have stomachs full of plastic trash. Plants also incorporate microplastics from the environment, including the fruits and veggies that we grow for food. So it's no surprise then that humans also have plastic in our bodies. We have microplastic particles in our bloodstream and in the tissue in our lungs. This study from the Netherlands reminds us that, unfortunately, we are what we eat. How does plastic get in our food? Wind and waves distribute plastic debris far from its point of origin. And plastic has been found everywhere on Earth. It's on the bottom of the ocean, at the top of Mount Everest. It's in the food we eat, the water we drink, and in the air we breathe. Yuck! It's already clear that when we trash the environment, we trash our own bodies as well. Maybe we should do something about that. We can start by joining people all over the world who are reconsidering how we use plastic, how we manage its entire life cycle, and how we might reduce the amount of plastic we use. To do that, let's look more closely at 2 aspects of plastic that we interact with every day. Let's look at textiles and packaging. So much of what we wear is made from plastic fibers. You're probably covered in plastic right now. Do you own anything made of nylon? That's a fossil fuel-based plastic. So are its cousins, Orlon and Dacron. How about polyester? That's plastic. Read your clothing labels. Any acrylic? Plastic. You've got lycra and spandex, right? Plastics. Then there's the rest of the poly family. Is your underwear microfiber? Plastic. And your swimsuit, your tights, your yoga pants, stuff you wear to keep warm, socks, hat, gloves, scarf. Unless they're wool, they're plastic. And everything made of fleece, everything windproof, waterproof, and your puffy coat and fake leather, even what's called vegan leather, it's all plastic. And don't forget your shoes. So how does plastic from clothing get into the environment? Plastic escapes during every part of a garment's life cycle, including normal wear and tear, especially when we wash and dry our clothes. The fluff in your dryer's lint filter is all little bits of clothing, and not all of it is trapped. Some is exhausted through the dryer vent to the outside air. Okay, hold on to the thought that you are wrapped in plastic while we look at plastic packaging. And here we'll focus on food and the fact that most of what we eat is wrapped in plastic too. If you walk through a supermarket looking for plastic packaging, you'll probably notice what I did, that there's so much more of it than I was aware of. You know, sometimes we don't really see things until we go looking for them. Scanning around the produce section, almost everything is pre-wrapped in plastic. And for things that aren't, there are these handy plastic bags everywhere. And there's a reason for that. Plastic does help keep fresh food fresh and reduces food waste. So let's keep walking to the shampoo aisle, the bottled water aisle, the yogurt case, the bottled beverages, and let's go get some chips too. And this is all single-use plastic. None of it is meant to be refilled or reused. If we're lucky, some of it can be recycled, but about 90% of plastics don't get recycled. We can and should try to improve recycling, but even better, we can reduce the amount of plastic that we use in the first place. But single-use plastic doesn't have to be the answer. There are other solutions out there that we can take advantage of. For example, most liquid shampoo, dish soap, and laundry detergents are big plastic jugs of mostly water. What if we just skip liquid soaps and use powdered or solid instead? There's lots of that here already. We can also look around the world at places that employ policy solutions like bottle bills or bans on single-use plastic. National parks and conservation areas around the world were some of the first places to ban single-use plastic. The United Nations is developing a global framework to end plastic pollution. The European Union has begun a phased-in reduction in single-use plastic, and in France, one of the most aggressive efforts to reduce plastic trash is part of a law passed in 2020 to create a completely circular, no-waste economy by the year 2040. Already, France eliminated more than 200,000 tons of single-use packaging waste last year. Let's go shopping in Paris and see what that looks like. As in the US, we'll start in the grocery store. In France, you've had to bring your own grocery bags for years. I can't remember the last time I was given a plastic bag. In the produce section, we find almost no plastic packaging. Some of the bulk produce is in string bags. For the rest, there are no plastic bags for the veggies, they're paper bags, and the same for the fruits. And reusable cloth bags are stocked right over here next to the produce scale, where you can buy them and use them right now. When I shop the deli counter to get a takeout lunch, the container lid is plastic, but the bowl itself is cardboard. Smaller shops have always wrapped purchases up in paper, like at the bakery, the butcher shop, the fruit vendor, and of course the tart I can't pass up at the pastry shop. That's wrapped up as if it were a gift. If you go to a fast food restaurant and get a kid's meal, there isn't going to be a plastic toy inside. Check this out. My Happy Meal comes with a book. And in the country that made mineral water a thing, Paris has 1,200 municipal drinking water fountains all across the city where you can refill your reusable water bottle. 17 of the public water fountains actually dispense sparkling water. Why buy carbonated water when the city gives it away for free? So passing laws that phase out single-use plastic is one important way to go, especially because it addresses both producers and consumers. Plastic packaging is a convenience, but opting out of plastic comes with its own benefits. What we need to decide is, when does convenience overrule the health of the environment and of ourselves? Even if there are no laws on the books where you live, you can still vote with your wallet to help reduce plastic waste. So think about pre-cycling, that is, choose items that don't come wrapped in plastic, or don't come in plastic jugs. Buy directly from producers where everything is fresh and doesn't need plastic wrap. Make sure to bring your own reusable bags to the store and always bring your own reusable water bottle with you. If you have to buy plastic containers, buy in bulk. One big container has less plastic than lots of little ones. Care for your clothes. Stay away from poorly made fast fashion and make sure the things you have last. Especially, don't use the hottest setting on your dryer or hang things up to dry if you can. Get involved with others to remediate plastic pollution. Participate in a beach cleanup event at the ocean, lake, river, or anywhere. And then amplify your individual actions. Start in your family and keep going. Work at your school, at your job, and in your community. Join a group and keep reaching out to larger groups at the state or national or global level. Keep this conversation going. Everything you do is an opportunity to make things better for our environment and for its inhabitants. And the more people you do it with, the bigger your impact. Right now, we have a situation where stuff that's meant to be used just once is made out of a material that's going to last forever. That's just wrong, and we can fix it.